In for a penny, in for a pound. I'm on a roll, so let's do this other one now. We don't have any internet access currently here, so I'm using my little photo booth app on my computer. You don't care. Doesn't matter. So this video is, or this information is on my other YouTube, my initial YouTube channel, which I called Friend of Kale. Friend of Kale. It's there. However, I've been kicked in the pants the past couple of days, weeks actually, to share it here as well. And it happened, I think it was 2020. No, it would have been before that because I was still working. Yeah. Good Lord. Actually, there's two. I have to check because I think I reshared this one recently. However, task at hand, Jennifer. I called this video the Flying Dutchman. That's what I called the dream information that came. And the dream information that came was learning dream stuff that happened just before I woke up so that I would remember it. And I came to, or started to become aware of the dream, that I was dreaming something. I was standing in the restaurant that used to be called the Monte Cristo back 15 years ago or so in Courtney at the Puntledge River Slough. There used to be a lovely little Italian restaurant there that overlooked the water, and we used to, go occasionally and people's birthdays and such. So I'm standing in the restaurant looking out through the windows, the beautiful windows overlooking the slough where the smaller sailboats come in. And there's a little dock, little patio outside, which I don't know that I never saw anybody using it. I think it was in disrepair. But there was a dock, a small dock below that boats could come in and tie up at high tide. Very small boats. And as I was staring out the window from this restaurant, I saw a ship, an aerial ship, like something from off planet, come into the slough area, which there's lots of trees on either side, so there's a narrow entry to get into it. And the ship descended into the water, and as it got close to the water, it turned into a water taxi / interdimensional travel vessel. And it had portals in the hull, portal windows. And out of all these windows, almost like a bus, I saw people looking out. Humanoids looking out. Different people looking out through the windows. It's like a tour of some kind that had come. And so the next thing I noticed was myself standing on the dock, and there's a woman, like a quartermaster, putting out a gangway. And she comes down, or the gangway is put out, and I'm standing there, delighted, absolutely delighted. And she walks down the gangway, and she was dressed, it doesn't matter what she was dressed like, but she was dressed so as not to be noticed as standing out from the other people that were present in the space of the restaurant. So what someone may have seen, if they were aware, or if they were of vibration and frequency to even see this or notice this, they would have simply seen a small water taxi coming in with people in a lower deck looking out through windows. I had seen it come down out of the sky and go into the water. So I'm out there. And the woman that came down over the ramp said, "Would you like to come aboard?" Yep. Oh, yes, of course. Of course. So she extended her hand, and I went up over this wooden gangway with very old fashioned, planks of wood with little wooden, maybe 1 by 1 um, pieces that you could step on because there was a bit of an angle to the ramp or the gangway. So I go aboard, and as I'm stepping aboard the vessel, she says to me, "Try and blend in." So I knew there were other people aboard the vessel and other people working and moving around. So I just sort of, tried to be nonchalant, and she led and I followed in through one of the doors, went through the gangway, down a set of stairs, through a hall, and we come to this big wooden round top door at the end of the hall, and I know this is the captain's quarters. Oh wait, now I got to back up. So before we go to the captain's quarters, she says, "Come here, I got to show you something." So one of the side doors in this gangway, or this passageway, again, everything is wood inside that I saw. She opens this door, and it is like a storage room, closet. Oh, closet. It was big. And there were period costumes hung up for men and women. And I was drawn to this. Oh, what color was it? I'm hearing yellow. There was a beautiful woman's jacket, a longer style jacket, and it looked like it would have been made of velvet, like a velvet, high-end velvet, like very, imagine the most rich velvet you've ever seen, and this had like a, if the most rich, luxurious fabric and velvet you've ever seen, on a scale of 1 to 10, might have been a 2. This thing was like a 20 on some kind of score. I've never seen anything like it. And she said, "Would you like to hold it? Would you like to see it?" And so she handed it to me, and I got to feel this fabric and look at the construction of how this thing was put together, how it was made, and marvel at this. And so I'm taking this in and trying to take in as much as I can around me it's like walking into a museum with different pieces from different periods that people could use depending on which time period they went to visit. Oh, it was beautiful. It was like walking into behind like a dressing room from a stage of some multi epoch play, or where they were doing. It was like the stage or the dressing room for actors from every time period there was. And then my attention was drawn over to the corner of the room where a wooden prosthetic leg, was hanging somehow in the corner. And the wooden leg had straps, and it was like it wasn't just the leg, but that was the main purpose of it, was this leg. And there were straps. It would have been attached by, and I saw these leather straps with buckles, and it's like it would have hung. Your shoulders would have also taken the weight of this thing. It wasn't just strapped to something on your hip. And this thing is, I'm looking at it, and this woman who was, there was like an ageless quality to her, but she seemed to be younger. And I watched her nod to this thing or draw its attention, and it disengaged itself from the hook that it was on and moved slowly across the room towards us. And she indicated to me telepathically to follow her. And so we went out of this room, like a storage room. This thing, the leg, followed us, and we went further down the hall to the end door, captain's quarters. And she knocked on the door, and she opened the door, and she indicated for me to go in. And this leg thing followed me into the room and went to the corner of the room and stayed there again, like it attached itself to a hook of some kind and stayed there. And in front of me, it was like a galleon. What I was looking at was a larger framed man sitting with his back to me at a desk, a big ornate desk. And in front of him were the windows of like a galleon ship. And I said, oh my gosh. I said, knock, knock. Excuse me, Captain. I think I also said permission to come aboard, permission to enter. And he slowly stood up with his back to me still. And he turned around. And I don't remember his features other than them being extremely kind and so grateful that I'd come. So as he turned around, he looked at this prosthetic leg, and the prosthetic leg came. He only had one, he was standing on one leg. And as I watched, the prosthetic leg came and merged with his body. And the merging was smoother than, he didn't have to adjust straps or try and fit it on. It did that by himself. He just stood there, and the thing merged with his body, and now he was standing on two legs. And I said, once I watched that and smiled, of course, I said, how can I assist you? How can I help? And he said, I want you to let everybody know what you saw here today. And I said, I will do that. Thank you so much. This has been magnificent. And with that, I woke up. That's one of them. There's been a few like that. When we're ready, when we ask, all we need to do is ask. The information for further awareness, further miracles come. We're given exactly what we're ready for. Happy Christmas, everybody. Merry, Merry Christmas. Take care.